Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I got a couple of superpowers figures here, a couple of Batmans, some of the variants that have been released. Now, these are using that first buck that they released of Batman. That personally, I hate the buck that they used, but I will give these two specific figures a bit of a pass because at least they did something different with them. You've got some really cool variants. Now over here we've got our Batman manga, which is really cool. I really dig the white highlights and the gray muted colors. That's a very cool figure. And then we got our Batman of Zurin R, which is a really cool, colorful version of Batman. Very different, straight out of the comics. Now they did release a version of this in the multiverse line. Actually, both figures of these are in the DC multiverse line, so you can have 7-inch versions of these as well. The manga figure is one of the newer ones, at least one of the later waves. Our other Batman is actually a couple of waves back, but all in all, pretty cool. I thought I would do these two together instead of separate videos, since they are basically the same figure underneath, just painted differently. So yeah, let's get a close up real quick. All right, so we'll start with our manga Batman. I can't remember where I even got this one from, but I know it had a price tag on the front of it, which was kind of. I mean, I bought it online and it had a price tag on it when I received it, which was kind of weird. But yeah, we're gonna get this one out first. Stuff just falling everywhere. That's all right. I really like this grayish color, this like pastel kind of color. Really looks nice. And there's the tape. Let's get the package out of the way. Yeah, there we go. All right, so there's our manga Batman. And you know, as much as I do hate this, the design of the figure, I totally can get past it because of the way it's painted. Let's get our other one out. What's great about all these variants is you get all the different colored capes. So if you've got some of the vintage figures and maybe you want some more options for capes, this is a way to go. If you can find some of these fairly cheap, which this one usually goes pretty cheap. I think I've seen this one on Amazon for like $4.99, which is incredible. All right, got all our garbage out of the way. I'm gonna lower the camera down and we'll get a closer look at these guys. All right, so as far as articulation, everyone should know by now, just a bend at the knee, arms, head spins, and that is really all we've got going on with these figures. These are really, they put them in the kids' toy aisles, but these are adult collectors because no kids are wanting these figures. They have no articulation. It's it's barely a step up from the Super 7 reaction figures, honestly. Unlike the vintage figures, these don't have any kind of cool action feature. You don't push the legs together and the arms punch, none of that kind of stuff. These are just really for collectors. A lot of people keep them in the packages. I'm not one of those, but I appreciate it. The ones who do. So yeah, let's take a look. Ooh, so looks like I got a bad paint job on this guy. Oh, it's on both. That's bad. Well, if I'd have paid the high dollar for this, I might have been upset, but I might be able to get that off with a little acetone. That's weird. Not sure how that kind of a bleed happens on a figure. I'm assuming it comes from the paint on the shoulders. This one, this one's nice and clean. I really like this version of Batman. Let me dig out that first version that these use the same buck. And there's I think there's like two other Batmans that use this same buck. All right, so let's bring in our first Batman. Yeah, so this is more of a contemporary Batman. You know, maybe for me, it was just some of the other choices that really made the bulkiness of the shoulders stand out. For instance, the emblem. I like the vintage emblems more with the gold around them, but I understand that's not what they're doing now. But in this, it doesn't draw enough attention to the center, so all I see is that big bulky shoulders, and he looks like he has no neck. That's all I see. And I mean, I still see some of that to a degree on the other ones, but this one stood out more. Now, to be clear, this is a replacement cape. This is not the cape that this came with. The cape that he came with actually was a little more plastic, and it was in that first wave where they used they put a hole through the cape using one of these little plastic things like this, actually, to hold it inside the package. Yeah, which I still don't understand. Luckily, they did make improvements, and we got two of the best Batman figures in the Superpowers line right here. At least in my opinion. You got the all black version, then you got the classic like Super Friends version. That's what I want to call him, like a 70s Batman. So, have you picked up either of these? Were they must-haves in your collection, or are you more on the I needed the manga version, but the other version I really didn't care about? Sound off in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. As always, I do appreciate everybody who takes the time to watch one of these videos. If you give it a like, that's even better. Engagement in YouTube is such a ridiculously huge deal. If you don't like or comment or any of that stuff on the videos, yeah, they won't push the videos out for other people to see. And I've tried testing this with so many different methods, and it is so hard to get someone to watch a video anymore. So if this is something you enjoy and you want to see me continue doing this stuff, please hit the like, leave a comment. As always, I do appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great day. I'll see you next time. Thanks.